Hey guys, so Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Putin just dropped, and Tucker warns at the beginning of the interview that there are several moments in here that Vladimir Putin seems to get upset or frustrated or annoyed with Tucker for the way that he's asking these questions. And here is one of those moments. Take a look.
At a meeting here in the Kremlin with the outgoing President Bill Clinton, right here in the next room, I said to him, I asked him, Bill, do you think if Russia asked to join NATO, do you think it would happen? Suddenly he said, you know, it's interesting. I think so. But in the evening, when we met for dinner, he said, you know, I've talked to my team. No, it's not possible now. You can ask him. I think he will watch our interview. He'll confirm it. I wouldn't have said anything like that if it hadn't happened. Okay.
Were you
sincere? It's impossible now.
Would you have joined NATO?
Look, I asked the question, is it possible or not? And the answer I got was no. If I was insincere in my desire to find out what the leadership position was...
But if he had said yes, would you have joined NATO?
If he had said yes, the process of rapprochement would have commenced, and eventually it might have happened if we had seen some sincere wish on the other side of our partners. But it didn't happen. Well, no means no. Okay, fine.
Why do you think that is? Just to get to motive, I know you're clearly bitter about it. I understand. But why do you think the West rebuffed you then? Why the hostility? Why did the end of the Cold War not fix the relationship? What motivates this from your point of view?
You said I was bitter about the answer. No, it's not bitterness. It's just a statement of fact. We're not bride and groom, bitterness, resentment. It's not about those kind of matters in such circumstances. We just realized we weren't welcome there, that's all. Okay, fine. But let's build relations in another manner. Let's look for common ground elsewhere. Why we received such a negative response, you should ask your leaders. I can only guess why. Too big a country with its own opinion and so on.
It was very interesting to see Putin put on the spot like this. Tucker asked him, would you have joined NATO if given the opportunity, if the powers that be and the United States would welcome Russia into NATO at that point, would he have decided to join? It seems like the answer would have been yes, or he would have tried to at least. And then Tucker continues this with, you know, you seem bitter about how that all went down. Basically, the fact that you were barred and kind of outcasted as a nation, and that you weren't really allowed to join the NATO club of Western nations. And Russia has historically always had this kind of outcasted position. It's part of Europe, but it's not really part of Western Europe or Western European civilization. They've always been different, and it's because of the way they historically went through the Renaissance or didn't go through the Renaissance at the same time as Western Europe. They were under the Mongol empire, basically, a lot longer, that kept them from progressing the same way that Europeans did. And since then, they've just been a little bit different than every other country in Europe. And historians have made the argument that this is why Russia was more susceptible to communism and went through all of that political turbulence. And if you listen to the rest of this interview, Tucker and Putin actually talk a lot about Russian history. Putin is actually giving a monologue about Russian history, deep into the details, and making a historical case from his point of view why he thinks Ukraine belongs to Russian territory. It's very interesting to listen to, definitely a different perspective that I'm used to. But if you want to hear more about that and you want to hear his perspective, check out the full-length interview on Tucker's website. And the last thing here is you have to just give it to Tucker for going ahead and doing this interview when everybody didn't want him to do it. He went over to Russia. He's talking to the leader of a country that is at war with one of our allies, with somebody that we're supporting. And the mainstream media, the legacy media here in this country and in the West, did not want to touch this kind of interview with the leader of Russia. They just didn't want to give him any kind of FaceTime or press and allow him to give any perspective that's different than the one that our mainstream media is shoving down our throats. So Tucker is sticking his neck out, trying to bring us the other side. He's saying at all that he agrees with the other side. He's just doing what journalists are supposed to do, which is to present both sides. And then it's up to us to decide. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of Tucker doing this. Let me know what you thought of the clip. If you liked the clip, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.